Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to Deep Dive Wednesday. I'm Isam from TeacherMatic, and today we're going to be exploring how to prepare learners for the world of work using these practical, inclusive tools that we call generators that will save you time and make it easier to embed employability into everyday teaching. What's interesting about these generators that we're going to be looking at today is that they have a dual purpose. Some were originally designed for HR or management roles. For example, the job adverts, descriptions, interview tasks. But they're also incredibly effective in careers education and employability teaching. And it just goes to show you how TeacherMatic has evolved and now supports the whole organization, from classroom delivery to HR, career teams, and beyond. So over the next 35 to 40 minutes, we're going to be looking at some real examples, live demos, and finish with some key takeaways that you can apply straight away in your own teaching and tutorial practice. Employability isn't just a buzzword. It's fundamental to what we do as educators. And according to the CBI, the Confederation of British Industry, 94% of firms say they have skills gaps, and 69% of employers prioritize soft skills such as teamwork, communication, and reliability. And about a quarter of UK vacancies are now skills shortage roles. And the foundation of employability is what we refer to as the 4 C's of the 21st century, which are communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. But research shows, especially for our 16 to 19-year-olds, that they need also support in areas like resilience, adaptability, professionalism, time management, problem solving, and especially self-confidence. So these are the employability behaviors that really shape workplace success, and they're exactly what we can build through purposeful activities, which we hope to show you today. So TeacherMatic helps us bring these into our everyday teaching, ensuring that learners develop both academic knowledge and the personal skills they need to thrive in the modern workplace. So everything that we've talked about, confidence, professionalism, resilience, and adaptability, sits right at the heart of both Ofsted and Gatsby. So Ofsted's personal development judgment focuses on how well we prepare learners for life and work, helping them build character and confidence. And the Gatsby Benchmarks shows us how to do this in practice. So by linking curriculum learning to careers, exposing students to labor market information, and providing meaningful encounters and guidance. So in short, Ofsted gives us the why, and the Gatsby gives us the how. And TeacherMatic provides us with the tools to make employability visible in everyday teaching. Let's look how TeacherMatic brings all of this together in practice. I'll be using the role of a customer service assistant to demonstrate how a sequence of generators can create an end-to-end employability journey, from the job advert and interview preparation through rubrics and smart targets. So we'll have a look at this, and just to know, because of time constraints, I've pre-populated the fields in each of the generators to save us time today. For each one, I'm going to explain it briefly using a slide, then we'll jump into TeacherMatic to see it in action, and finally return to the slides before moving on to the next tool. So the first one we're going to be looking at is the job advert generator, and this helps you create realistic professional adverts in seconds. So learners can explore keywords, the tone, expectations, or they can even rewrite adverts to target different audiences. So it's a very simple but very effective way to promote literacy, employability, awareness, and it links to Gatsby's benchmark 2 on labor market information. So let's take a look at this generator in action. Okay, so this is the job advert, which, as you'll see, I've already pre-populated it, as you can see here. So the title of the position to be advertised, the description of the position. So most of you will know what to write in here. I pre-populated everything with all the fields. Some are mandatory, some are optional. And as you can see, everything has been pre-populated. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on now generate. And in a few seconds, you'll have a job advert here. And you can, of course, regenerate this if it doesn't meet your expectations. But the idea is to go and create job adverts based on the interests of your learners, as you can see. So we can always then use the refine to refine this output even further and add additional responsibilities, requirements. We can make the language even easier to suit our E3 and level 1 students here. So that is the job advert generator. You can see how easy it is. It's perfect for employability or career sessions. And as I said, it does support Gatsby's benchmark 2, learning from labor market information, and it builds literacy and confidence. So the next one we're going to see is the job description generator. And I will just share a slide to explain what that looks like. So the job description generator builds on that advert by producing full role descriptions, responsibilities, and required skills. So the learners can compare these with their current abilities or course outcomes, reinforcing how classroom learning connects to real career paths. And that's where it links to Gatsby's benchmark 4, linking the curriculum learning to careers, and it provides Ofsted evidence for purposeful, career-focused learning. So let's have a look at that in action. So that's the next one here. And as you can see, I've already pre-populated this with the same job title that we used in the job advert here, right? I've written a little about the organization, the job overview, and here I've included all the responsibilities, so all the attributes that I'm looking for. So I've included responsibilities, qualifications, skills and attributes, working hours, salary and benefits, diversity and inclusion. Let's click generate and see what that produces. So there you go. As you can see, it's produced quite a comprehensive job description over here with all the responsibilities, the qualifications here, as you can see, and then the skills and attributes, the working hours, the salary and benefits, and diversity and inclusion. And once again, you can use the refine to refine this even further. So the next one we're going to be looking at is the job interview question list. So the interviews question generator prepares learners for mock interviews and real assessment situations. So it instantly creates role-specific questions that focus on soft skills like teamwork, customer service, or handling pressure. So learners can practice answering these aloud or in pairs, improving confidence, articulation, and self-awareness. And this aligns to Gatsby's benchmarks 5 and 6, providing encounters with employer-style questioning and simulated workplace experiences. So let's take a look at that in action. It says, just like before, I pre-populated this. I haven't added anything in the diversity, disability, or needs, but I think this is worth a discussion with your learners. So I could put here, for example, dyslexia or something like that. So there is a complexity slider here, so I can change that to average. I've left it to 10 questions, and let's now generate. I think this is a fantastic practice to build the students' confidence. And there you go. So during a job interview, we can ask them these questions and perhaps even provide these questions beforehand so they can actually practice it. So that's the job interview question list there. The next one we're going to be looking at is the job interview task list. There's so many, I think, really useful ones here. So the job interview task list generator produces short, realistic activities candidates might complete during interviews or assessment centers. For example, greeting a customer, resolving a complaint, or prioritizing tasks during a busy shift. So it's a very fast, engaging way to build confidence, communication, and professionalism. And it works, I think, brilliantly with the rubric generator for assessment, because you can assess these tasks using a rubric, and you can then use the smart targets generator for reflection. So let's have a look at that in action. So there it is, the job interview task list, the same role. I provided a brief job description over here, left the complexity at average, and we've got 5 tasks. Let's click on generate, and there we go. So task 1, greeting a customer. Imagine you're working at the customer service desk. Customer approaches you looking unsure. Your task is to greet the customer warmly and offer your assistance. So role play this scenario with the interviewer for up to 5 minutes. I think this is a fantastic, engaging sort of activity for your classrooms and for your tutorials. So as you can see, we've produced 5 tasks here. Okay. Of course, we can refine this much further. Do take advantage of refining the initial outputs to meet your specific needs. It's a very powerful functionality, the refine. Okay, so the next one is the scenario generator. So let's have a look at that. So essentially what this does is it creates quick, realistic role play or discussion activities. So you can generate situations where learners must make decisions, solve problems, or communicate under pressure. So it's ideal for developing maybe empathy and critical thinking. It supports Gatsby's benchmarks 4, 5, and 6, offering authentic simulations that connect classroom learning with employability. So let's have a look at that in action. So here it is, and I've just put dealing with a difficult customer during a busy period. So the role is, I said other, and the name of your role in my example is the customer service assistant over here. So you do have different roles. Go for other, and then you can actually just name your role. All right, really easy. Just click on generate, and we'll see what it produces. And there you go. There is the scenario, and it also provides you with the possible answers over here. All right, fantastic generator there for you. So the next one we're going to be looking at is the rubric generator, and this is not just for employability. This can be used for formative assessment, summative assessment, to assess group presentations, individual presentations. It's one of my most favorite generators, to tell you the truth. So this allows you to create structured assessment criteria in seconds, and it can mirror the clear performance indicators that you'll find in the City and Guilds and BTEC frameworks, so ensuring fairness and clarity for both learners and assessors. So it's ideal for mock interviews or teamwork activities and provide strong evidence for Ofsted's quality of education by showing transparent progress measures. So let's have a look at that one. So if I just click on the generator, what I did here is I selected the assignment text. So if you do have an assignment file, you can upload that. I just went for the assignment text, or I probably should have went for assignment title, but I'll just leave it as assignment text. And I want to assess a job interview for the customer service assistant. You can put any additional information here. The more information you put, the more customized the rubric will be. Now, you've got different scales. I've chosen to keep mine from excellent to poor. And what I've done here is I've included these performance indicators myself. And I've added communication, professionalism, problem solving, teamwork, and customer focus. Now, I didn't have to put these performance indicators because TeacherMatic will be smart enough to understand what to include for the job interview for a customer service assistant role. But because I wanted to mirror some of the qualification bodies like City and Guilds and BTEC, I've decided to put these performance indicators. So the next thing you'll do is just choose your sector, select your region. So I've chosen England and Wales, and I've want to target level 2, right? So you do have these different levels over here. And I'm just going to click on generate. So during the job interview rehearsal, you would give this rubric to your students before, and they'll know exactly what they are being assessed against. And I say this with confidence that the students' performance is going to improve if you've given this rubric, because they'll understand what they are being assessed against. So it's just such a powerful strategy to go and assess these job interviews over here. Now, if you think the language is too difficult, you can always come to the refine and say simplify the language for a level 1 learner, and you can change this rubric as much as you like using this refine functionality. Very, very powerful. And of course, you can then export this to a Word document, amend it, and edit it. So that's the rubric generator. In my opinion, an absolute game changer here. So the next one we're going to be looking at is the Smart Target Generator, and it helps learners set clear, achievable goals after feedback. For instance, practice star interview answers once a week for 4 weeks. So it promotes ownership, accountability, and continuous improvement, all essential employability traits. And it also, of course, aligns with Ofsted's personal development and Gatsby's Benchmark 8, showing structured reflection and progress over time. So let's have a look at this in action here. So there is my Smart Target, the Smart Targets generator. You do have targets for not just learners, but a teacher, a member of the admin staff, a member of management, and you can even describe the role. So I've gone for a learner here, and this is what I've included, right? Improve confidence in handling customer complaints, behavioral soft skills. I've even put 4 weeks because it'll understand that this is the time frame I want to use. And then I've added here weekly role play practice and peer feedback. I've selected the sector and the learner profile. Very, very simple, but I would encourage you to put something more comprehensive in there. And you can also select all the varying learning needs within your class, or especially for that student there. So maybe I'll select dyslexia, considering on average about 1 in 10 students is dyslexic. I'll come in here, I'll just click regenerate because I've already done it before. Then we'll see what happens. And there you go. So it's giving me, just to show you, highlight, because I chose dyslexia, it's given me strategies in how to provide support for that dyslexic student, which is, I think, fantastic, very inclusive. So there it is. There's the specific ones here, right? Measurable, attainable, and relevant, and time bound. As you can see, because I added 4 weeks over here, it's understood that's what I want. And of course, once again, you can use the refine button to refine this until it meets your expectations, right? Now, the last one we're going to be looking at is, I think, one of the most powerful generators in reducing that workload, especially for roles for career officers. And by the way, just to let you know, you can find all of these generators. We've categorized them under the careers role. So when you do log on to TeacherMatic, you'll see them using the roles filter, which will be found on the far right. So if you click on the drop down menu, you're going to choose the careers category. So if I click on all roles and then go to the careers officer. So we've placed all of these ones here that I'm showing you today. There'll be 1 or 2, for example, for good reason, which I won't go into. For example, the rubric is not there. So what I would do in this case, just go to all roles and then just write the word rubric. And then I would definitely then go and favorite that generator by clicking on the heart icon. So if your role is really just focused on careers and employability, what I would do is go and favorite all the ones that are relevant to that role. And then the next time you log on to TeacherMatic, you just go to your favorites and you'll be able to access only those that you've favorited and you've identified that these are generators that would be very suitable for my role. So now going back to the last generator that I'm going to show you, which is essentially the careers interview report and action plan, because I appreciate that really does take a long time. And essentially what this generator does is it supports careers or tutorial teams by converting meeting transcripts into professional reports with next steps. So it saves considerable time, it improves consistency, and ensures every learner leaves with a clear, personalized action plan. Because I can appreciate this can take a number of hours. And imagine an average class size of 25, and this is what you have to do for each learner. So this is an absolute low-hanging fruit. It's a quick win, and it links to Gatsby's Benchmark 8 personal guidance, giving measurable outcomes from guidance sessions. Now, there are a number of ways to capture these transcripts. If you're doing them online using Microsoft Teams or Google Meets or Zoom, it will provide the transcript for you. But if you're meeting your students face to face and you're wondering, how can I capture a transcript? There are a number of tools out there on your mobile phone. And if you're using your laptop and you are using Microsoft Teams, and there are similar tools for Google, there are many, many other tools, but one very easy way of capturing a transcript, because once you have the transcript, then you can use this generator. And if you go to Word, yes, absolutely, Word. Let's create a new document first. All right, there we go. So actually it's underneath Home. And if you go all the way to the right, you've got Dictate, which is a fantastic sort of feature. But if you click on the drop down arrow here, you've got something called Transcribe. If you click on Transcribe, you'll have the ability to start recording a session. If you've recorded your session on a mobile phone as an audio file, you can upload that and it will transcribe that automatically for you. But if you want to do it in real time, all you need to do is open up Word and just click Start Recording. Once it starts recording, it will now transcribe. No matter how many speakers there are in that session, it will transcribe each speaker and identify each speaker as speaker 1, 2, and 3. So now if I click on save and transcribe, obviously there's only one speaker, but you'll see what it does. Might take a bit of time. There you go, speaker 2 over here. So I'm just going to add that to the documents, and I can say with speakers over here. And as you can see, didn't do a very good job here. But you get the idea. It normally does. It's maybe because I'm using my microphone for this session here. Let's try that one more time. Right. I'm going to say new transcription. I'm going to say start recording. Okay, testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. Save and transcribe now. Yeah, there you go. So it's done it. So I'm just going to add that to the document. And as you can see, there is speaker 2, which is myself, of course, and it's transcribed that. So that's a really easy way to get the transcript when you're doing your face-to-face meetings with your learners. Once you have the transcript, all you need to do is go to the generator, which I've lost now, which is very unfortunate. Yeah, I've lost it. Doesn't matter what we can do. I'll just say report, because that's one of the keywords there. There you go. There it is. We click on the use button. We put in the name. Right, I've got this example. And by the way, this transcript that I am going to be pasting is based on a real situation, a real transcript. So over here, I'm just going to, you can do a number of things. You can upload the transcript. So if you've exported it from Word, Zoom, Google Meet, Teams, you can upload that transcript here, right? Or you can paste the transcript of the interview. You can even upload scanned interview notes, and that is quite impressive, I think, where if you've written handwritten notes, you can also upload that and it will produce your report. And you can also upload an audio recording, which I didn't even know. This must be a brand new feature, okay? So what I'm going to do for this example is I'm going to paste the transcript of an interview, and I've got a real interview here. So just give me a sec while I do that. There we go. I found it. And now let's take a look. So just to give you an idea what this transcript looks like. All right. Typically, this is what Word would have done. Okay. And there's the speaker, which I'm assuming is the tutor there. Hi, Charlotte. Thank you for coming to see me. Your tutor said that you might want, this is for a careers advisor role, might want to have a careers appointment. Do you know what a careers appointment is? Have you heard of that before? And then it carries on. So once you've got the transcript, right, you can also upload your own in-house support documents, by the way. So if you've got a standard procedural document, you can upload or even paste those procedures, and the output will respect those procedures. So I can set the format of the report, and you can, by the way, upload your own in-house template. So if you have your own templates, you can use that. So I'm just going to go for the default report format and check interview for completeness against template or support. I don't have those documents, so I will click on no, and then it says report on Gatsby alignment, and I would like to do that, and I'll just click on yes and click on generate, and in literally in less than a minute it will produce this report and an action plan. Of course, it's very, very, very important to go through this and make sure that this is a true reflection of your meeting with the learners. You always, always have to double check, critically evaluate everything. There has to be human oversight in everything that AI produces. But as you can see, I would have imagined, you know, a class of 25 and you have to do this for many students during the day. This will save you a considerable amount of time here. And don't forget, you've got the refine once again. So we're coming to the end of the session, and just some key takeaways and a brief recap. So employability is essential for every learner, not just those about to enter the work. And Ofsted and Gatsby, as we saw, set clear expectations for personal development and career readiness. And as you've seen, TeacherMatic really does simplify this process, and it gives us quick, credible outputs that can save us an incredible amount of time. And the soft skills we're trying to nurture, communication, adaptability, and professionalism, will really define long-term success. So before we wrap up, here's a few ways to keep building your TeacherMatic journey. If you haven't, start with our Getting Started course. It's a free, self-paced online course, and it's a step-by-step guide to explore TeacherMatic in further depth. If you are responsible for rolling out TeacherMatic, we've got a rollout strategy guide, which is very useful. You can access all of these things on our links page, and I highly encourage you to subscribe to our newsletter, a monthly newsletter for the latest updates, success stories, and upcoming sessions. So these resources are really designed to help you embed TeacherMatic confidently, share practice with colleagues, and keep developing employability teaching across your institution. I do want to show you this links page. It's very easy to get to. All you need to write is teachermatic.com/links. And then you'll be able to access all our links here. You can also access it from the navigation menu here. So we got the YouTube playlist. We've got our upcoming community webinar. I'm going to share some information about that in a bit. You can sign up for our future deep dives the first Wednesday of each month. As I said, highly advise that you sign up for our newsletter. And this is where you can sign up for the Getting Started with TeacherMatic course. So thank you very much for joining today's deep dive. And I hope you found this session useful, and it's giving you some really good practical ideas of how to embed employability in your own teaching. Don't forget, we run these deep dives on the first Wednesday of each month, and I would love to see you in future sessions. So thank you very much.